Well, we want to welcome you today. We are so excited that you have joined us for our pre-show. We are getting ready in the next few minutes to share our annual Spring Gala with World Hope International, and you're so glad that you've joined us. My name is Natalie, and I have my friend with me today.
Hi, I'm Louise Johnson. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining me today, Louise. I'm so excited for us to do this. We are here to talk about water today and how important water is, how exciting, refreshing water can be in our lives. And you know, it's fun, isn't it? To be around water, to play in the water and all that kind of stuff. And I was seriously considering doing polar dip, but I ran into a problem. I got ready to go the first time and off I went and found that it was a little too chilly. So I chickened out. And it was very windy that day, and I thought, oh, I'm not sure I can do this. So I said, I'm gonna do this. So I went a second time. I got in my car and I got down to the beach and I was getting ready to call my daughter, and I opened the door and I went, oh my word. The water's right there. It looks a little too icy, a little too frigid. So I chickened out. I didn't do it. But I do know that the water in the summertime is refreshing. I do love going to the ocean and having fun in the water and playing in it and stuff like that. So I love to kayak. That's great. But water can be so refreshing. So in a few minutes, we are going to get started, and just want to remind you, go grab a beverage, grab a snack. We're going to have some really cool stuff about water. So Louise, tell me about your experience with water. Do you like water guns? Those grandkids, is that
I like water guns if I have them.
Oh,
if other people have them, yeah, no.
Not quite so fun?
Not quite so fun.
Okay.
And water, I grew up by the ocean, so water always soothed me. When I had problems and the world just seemed too much, I would just go. And I loved windy, wavy days, just to hear it, you know. And I think my last really meaningful encounter with water was a few years back. I was rebaptized.
Nice.
And talk about a polar dip. That was in the middle of October. In Brazil. Yeah, in Lake Annis, in Brazil Lake, Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Canada. And it was cold.
That would be a polar dip, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no bears, but it no, it was really
a little
great.
chilly. Oh, that's so exciting, Louise.
Yeah.
I love that. How wonderful. Refreshing. Water is refreshment. It's life, and it brings life. The grass grows, the flowers grow, and I'm just amazed. In the last few days here, we had so much rain, and now the sun is coming out, and you're seeing the trees coming to life. You're seeing the grass just turning green. Rolly said to me, I'm gonna have to mow the back lawn. I said, you're kidding me. And he said, no, I'm quite serious. The rain, there's been enough rain and enough sun to really make things sprout. And it is life to us. So again, I want to remind you that we're going to get started here in a few minutes. And just, if you want to, or even if you don't, share this. We would love for you to share this with your friends so that they can come and join the gala with us. I am so excited about what we have to share with you tonight. And World Hope is doing some incredible work around the world where water is concerned, and we have a story for you that is just going to blow your socks off. So you want to invite everyone that you know to come and join us and see what God is doing around the world through this organization. There are some really cool stories coming out of this. So
yeah, and water brings hope. There's so much poverty, so much sickness, so much despair. And then water comes, people dig wells or they do whatever through organizations or just locally, and it gives people hope. Yeah, it really does. When you don't have the basics, the necessities, and water is a big one. You can last longer without food than you can without water. That's right. How important it is.
Yeah. And all of our water is based on food. All of our food is based on water.
Yeah.
If we don't have water, we don't have our food.
No.
You know, you take and dig irrigation into a field and see things grow. It's pretty exciting. I was driving up the valley and saw the plants just starting to grow, and the farmers had planted. So, but water is a big part of that, for sure.
Yeah. That reminds me of a garden. My father used to have a potato garden, and he wasn't well, so he'd sit out in the field and with his water or his tea or whatever, and he'd say, Louise, dig up the weeds. I realized then, as a young girl, that weeds, they all look the same to me, so it's a good thing the potatoes were ready because I'm digging.
There you go.
But we got lots of water that year.
That's awesome. It does make the weeds grow as well, but we can be thankful for that too, right?
Yeah.
So we are getting ready to get started. So grab a beverage to be refreshed. Refreshment is important in all of this. And grab a snack if you want. Invite somebody, share this so that people will know what's happening here. And we are just so excited to have you with us. Why don't you sit back and enjoy?
Hey everyone, welcome to our gala. We are so excited that you're here. And I just wanted to share a few important things with you. The first is that our goal for our gala this year is $25,000. And we have two generous donors who have given $25,000 as a match. So that means if we reach our goal, we will have $50,000 for the Hope Fund. The second is that our gala is not a one-night affair this year, but that we are going to continue sharing this story of resilience and hope and raising funds until Wednesday, May 18th at midnight. And so if we reach our goal, we'll do it by Wednesday, May 18th at midnight, and then we are going to celebrate together. And the third is that we want to get this story out there. We want to let people know about the transformation that's happening. And so we just want to encourage you to share this story, to let people know about the transformation that's happening in vulnerable communities around the world. And so if you share, we are going to put your name in for a draw to win an awesome World Hope water bottle. And so just, share this story. We would love for you to do that. And so I hope that you enjoy this incredible story of resilience and hope.
This fantastic evening is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors. A short film that you're going to be viewing in a few minutes was brought to us by Will's Transfer. We also have some gold sponsors: Will's Transfer, Warren Transport, Campbell's Auto, Shepherd Financial and Investment Services, the Atlantic District of the Wesleyan Church, and the Central District of the Wesleyan Church. And because of them, 100% of your donations goes to the Hope Fund. The Hope Fund helps strengthens our programs, helps start programs, and it helps us to respond at a moment's notice. And the big news is that there is a match up to $25,000 tonight because of two donors. That means that you get to double your impact throughout the gala. Every dollar is matched up to $25,000. That means we can end the gala with $50,000. That's so exciting.
We have been looking forward to this online spring gala for many months, and we have been praying over you as you've been able to watch this video this evening. It's coming up, and I can't wait for you to see it. We have been so busy this year. We have not stopped, and all of the work we do around the world continues to ramp up because of COVID, because of challenges, whether it's political or whether it's in communities. We are here to provide opportunity, to build dignity, and to help encourage hope in communities that might not have that. We do that not just through us. We do it by coming alongside local leaders, local government officials, and especially women and children to help strengthen them and empower them to move their communities forward to a place where they are safe and where they are secure and where they're so excited to move their community forward and provide a better future for their children. Would you consider giving tonight? Because that's what we're going to ask you to do. We're going to watch this amazing story from Sierra Leone, but that's just one of dozens and hundreds of stories happening across the world. We have been able to respond thanks to your generosity in giving to the Hope Fund over and over again. And I know it's going to happen again in this online gala. We are going to hit our $25,000 goal, and you are going to be a serious part of that. What you give will be doubled. Thanks to the incredible generous donors that we have who are matching dollar for dollar up to our $25,000 goal. And because of that, double the lives are going to be changed around the world, but we couldn't do it without you. So I just want you to ask, as you watch this gala tonight, would you pray that God would put a number on your heart that you can give, and know that that number is going to be doubled to make a double impact around the world? I can't wait to see what you think about the video tonight. The incredible story of hope and resilience in Sierra Leone.
A big part of the problems we encounter in very, very impoverished countries, like the ones we have in Africa, can be solved when communities organize themselves, empower themselves, and with help, like with people like us, technically speaking, and with resources, of course, that we can provide. We can help them solve their problems and figure out ways to build up resilience in their communities and sort out very, very basic problems and necessities they have. And of course, there is also the need of government agencies to employ resources, and policy making is very, very important for a community to be empowered, because an empowered community can actually also, exert pressure on their governments to help them out to solve the problems. So that's why we push for that, and we train and we impart training and do help in order for the community to feel they have the power to construct the future, to help construct a better future for their communities, but also to kind of stand up to their authorities and regional governments to enforce policies to help them up as well. Oh, that is a very good question. I mean, if we go there and initiate a process, either climate resilience, wash, health, protection, etc., if after we go, we don't leave, a base that guarantees sustainability, when we go, the initiative just dies off. There is no continuation of the work. Sustainability is at the core of what we do, and that's why we impart training and empower people. Because if not, the projects are not sustainable. Pumps they will not last if they are not taken care of. So yeah, core is in sustainability is in the core of what we do.
So for us, sustainability has to be uh, designed, strategized from the beginning. As we enter the community, so all our projects should think of sustainability from the start. In Cambodia, we follow 10 steps, community-driven approach, and we start by facilitating the community to have a vision. What is their vision for their lives, for their community, for their family, for their children? And once they have that vision, we ask them, what are the challenges that prevent them from achieving those visions? And those challenges are identified and prioritized. And we ask them why, what are the underlying root causes of these issues? And as the community try to discuss and reflect on what are those issues, then we ask them, what is the solution? What's their solution and how they can address those underlying issues? And that's how projects that are defined by the community comes about. So for us, we don't have a specific, sector in mind, but obviously we know that basic needs are a bit of a challenge, like water, food. However, we focus on the process. So when the community identify that what prevents them from developing is related to, for example, in Cambodia, they'll say
lack of jobs. And why they don't have lack of jobs, why they don't have good jobs, is it because our education is very limited, and why they don't have good education, oh, because we're poor, and why they were poor, oh, because we just come out of, the war, or especially the older generation, or we are poor because our environment is being degraded. We work with the indigenous communities that reliant on forest, and all the forests are gone, and therefore their livelihood are impacted. And we say, so what are we going to do about it? What are your solution to those problems? And therefore some kind of community projects are developed by that kind of discussion. Then we also ask the children, what are the barriers to the achievement of their rights in their development, or in their participation, in their protection, or even in their survival? And so those challenges become like key discussion points, where the communities really analyze why are they in that situation. And most of that will really go down into their either belief systems, tradition, and core values that may be harmful. But also by recognizing that those are deep issues that cannot be solved quickly. We need to be able to define a process that takes long time. Therefore, our development projects are usually not just 1 year. It's usually 3 years to 5 years. And when they are ready, when we are able to see that the community are able to stand by themselves and even drive their own process of development, addressing those underlying issues, then we are also able to say, okay, we are ready to move on, and therefore phase out. So there are 10 steps of identifying the vision, the barriers to the vision, who are the core groups who will facilitate the community to identify those challenges, what solution they have that they implement, they monitor, they reflect and analyze, and then review again, another cycle of project. And then by the time you say, okay, they are able to do it without World Hope anymore, then maybe it's time for us to move on to another community that is much more needy. But within that process, many projects could develop that are defined by the community. And that's why for our supporters, what is important is they understand that there are many issues in the community that can be supported, and therefore let the community define it. And the willingness of the supporter to be open to what the community decide is important. And we don't tell them where the money is supposed to go, but they can tell us, this is our need, and this is what probably World Hope could do, and where funding is needed. And therefore it makes it more sustainable as well, because we are oiling the engine. If it is a bicycle, then we act more like we have the tools and we have all the oil to make the bicycle run, and the rider are the riders could be the community leader. So that's our process here, and therefore it's important to empower the leaders, that they don't become dependent on World Hope, that they drive their own bicycle, and that they can achieve their vision for their community, or for their family, or for themselves. So I get so excited when I talk about this.
Precipitation activities they happen now around the equator, that are like a rainfall, thunderstorm, that kind of thing. Then they happen plenty.
My name is Madam Scott. This is my community's story. The sound of rain should bring joy. It means cooler weather and food growth. Water sources for the animals. The rain doesn't wait for day or night. It comes and goes as it pleases. And when it comes, all it brings me is fear. We flee to the mountain for higher ground and leave our homes not knowing what will happen. I ask myself often, how is it that the element that brings us life also causes death and destruction all around us? Our village, our people, all want better lives for themselves and our children. In 2017, after the deadly landslides, we approached World Hope International to see if we could come up with a solution in order to prevent future disasters. We needed a change. Together with World Hope and Engineers Without Borders Denmark, we began to dream about a safe and thriving community. A community that could be free from fear of rain and mudslides. We decided the best solution would be to build a canal to collect rainwater and prevent future mudslides. Engineers Without Borders completed the canal in January 2021 that runs straight through our village. Once we realized we were safe from the rain, we were empowered to make our community a better place to live. We have a canal to prevent flooding and landslide during the rainy season. What else can we do? In this way, the canal created other opportunities. What if we took sand and gravel from the canal to make bricks for home construction? Homes that are well built provide shelter from heat and weather. What if we used anti-rust paint to keep the canal from deteriorating? What if we repurposed garbage that had collected in our community? What if we processed it to create organic matter for gardens? Growing food is difficult because of our harsh climate and poor soil conditions. What if we turned waste into fertilizers for our plants to create a sustainable food source for our community? This is my community. I am proud to live here. These changes have been good for us. We are making a better place to live. Clean water is scarce in our remote village. With World Hope help, we are now using a gravity-fed plumbing system. This clean water helps us grow food, clean our clothes, grow shade for shelter and relief from heat, and stop waterborne illnesses and diseases while giving us clean water to drink. life is better now. This is the story of how my community changed the circle of devastation together. We no longer live in fear. We sleep peacefully when the rains come.
Oh my goodness, Tanya, that moves me. That says what was thought impossible becomes possible. I mean, that's right out of the scriptures. I mean, that's how Jesus intends for us to do his work. I mean, it isn't just like, well, it's a disaster, so we just do the same thing and then we go back to the same disaster. That's what he's called us, to rebuild life and rebuild hope. And all the people and the hope that's in that woman's voice, and to see those children now. And this is home. I mean, they don't have to be taken someplace else. Home can be changed to make it work. Oh my goodness. I was overwhelmed, really overwhelmed by that, as she just carefully walked through, and not only just the canal, but then the trash and the food and all of this that they had, taking what they had. I think about when Jesus says, God says to you, what's in your hand? You know, and they took what was in their hand and transformed it because it was put in God's hand through World Hope and networks that World Hope had. They didn't have the networks to go out to Engineers Without Borders. They didn't have all of that, but that was in their hand, and World Hope helped take what they had in their hand and transform it. Just like Moses, God said, what's in your hand? This crazy staff, and it's a mess, and I don't know what to do with it. And then God says, I want to show you what you can do with that. That's what's happened in this community in Canal. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. And you know what? It's moved me. I'm going to give you the first $1,000 towards your match tonight. And I'm encouraging everybody else to give, because when we begin to see transformation take place in these places, this is the hand of God at work, making what was thought impossible to become possible.
Thank you, Joanne. And I agree. I mean, God says, what's in your hand? And it might be a couple loaves and some fishes, and you know what? He uses whatever we have to give to him. And that's why we're here tonight, is together to reach a goal that we couldn't do by ourselves. And we have donors who've been so generous, and they're matching every single dollar all the way till our $25,000 goal. So would you give? Whatever's in your hands, whatever's in your heart that God's asking you to give, would you give for the Hope Fund, for us to respond? We've been responding all year thanks to your incredible generosity. We're responding in Ukraine, we've been opening new projects, we've been sending teams, we've been distributing medical supplies in West Africa. The list goes on and on and on. And we couldn't do it without you, because together we're stronger. And I'm so excited to see what transformation is going to happen this year thanks to your incredible giving. So what's in your hand? What's in your heart? And why don't we give that tonight with a heart of hope and excitement and anticipation for what God's going to do through that, because he's going to make it bigger than anything we could ever imagine. He is going to grow it to a place that we'll never understand. But we know that when we're faithful to give, that he is going to use that for his kingdom purposes, and people's lives are going to be different as a result. So thank you so much for giving. Let's work at reaching our $25,000 goal or beyond, and know that every single dollar up to that $25,000 is going to be matched. So we have double the impact with what's in our hands and what's in our hearts tonight.